Episode 1 of the Jakarta series. Let's go. The Indonesian cuisine was one of the most overwhelming cuisines I've come across. Now, I say this in a positive way. This is probably because of the number of islands that they have, the number of cultures that they have, the number of languages that are spoken. The food is a result of all of that fusion. The number of dishes that you can encounter and try and sample and enjoy is truly overwhelming. This is a true example of that diversity. In this episode, we're going to be trying out Sop Konro and Konro Bakar. When you think of Indonesian food, I don't think giant beef ribs will come to your mind instantly. But this is exactly what these two dishes are. Sop Konro is a aromatic soup that contains those giant beef ribs and an aromatic broth that you can see being made here. And then Konro Bakar is basically the same giant beef ribs, but then in a satay sauce. The satay sauce that you'll find commonly on the chicken and meat skewers in this part of the world. Where do these dishes come from? Well, the grilling culture is quite big in Indonesia because of the satay and dishes like that, so that's not a surprise. The actual dish itself, Sop Konro, comes from South Sulawesi. This is a region known for its vibrant culinary heritage. They've got some wonderful dishes, and one of those is the Sop Konro. From the two dishes, the Sop Konro is the more traditional dish. It is the one that you probably need to try here. However, I'll tell you in a bit which one we preferred more. But Sop Konro is the original, the traditional dish. We ordered an iced tea to go with that as well. Make sure you get the sweet version. The sweet iced tea in Indonesia hits different. Trust me, it really hits different, especially with the heat and these flavorful and spicy dishes. One of the reasons I love Jakarta is because you can sample food from different parts of Indonesia all within one city, and they've got some amazing restaurants scattered around the city. Jakarta is huge. I mean, Indonesia is huge, and they've got, like I said, an overwhelming number of dishes, and their food is overwhelming. Now, Jakarta, it contains a lot of the dishes that you need to try, and you can sample very good restaurants like this one, right? This was on a street where there were a number of different Sop Konro restaurants. We happened to come upon this one because I think this is the most popular one. How were the dishes? Let's talk about them individually. The first one we will start off with is the Sop Konro. This is the soup version, so you get an aromatic soup broth along with those giant beef ribs. And then it comes with fried onions on top as well. This was heartwarming, comforting. I like the taste of the broth. It had this salty, savory taste. And I can genuinely imagine it being a really, really good and comforting winter dish. Then let's move on to the Konro Bakar. This is the grilled version. So those same giant beef ribs are grilled as you saw earlier, and then they are smothered, absolutely smothered with that satay sauce, that peanutty satay sauce you usually get on those skewers. This is genius. This right here was genius. I'd come back to Jakarta alone just for this. Just for this. This was so good. The meat effortlessly fell off the bone, effortlessly. The meat was nice and juicy. It wasn't dry. The satay sauce complemented it well. I've never had anything like this. The beef ribs, usually you get barbecue flavor, usually you get a smoky flavor. This had a combination of that smoky flavor, of course, because of the grilling, and also that peanutty, sweet taste from the satay sauce. Genius. I've never had anything like this. So good. It came with a plate of rice and also a bowl of that broth that you get in the soup version, so you can combine those elements. And there's also a plate or a basket of crackers there for you to add to this dish as well. Crackers, you'll find them everywhere in the country. I don't know why we didn't add it here, but anyway, nonetheless, the food was exceptionally good. This was actually our first dinner here in Jakarta. This was our first proper meal, and boy, were we instant fans of the Indonesian cuisine. This is something that would definitely come back to try, and this is definitely something that you should try when you're here in Jakarta or anywhere in Indonesia. Find it, try it, you're welcome.